What's up guys? So today I'm going to be going over 5 Premiere Pro keyboard shortcuts that really come in handy and just make the workflow much faster, and it just makes the whole process of editing much faster and much quicker. So first of all, I want to go over, once you do have your whole setup complete, there's a time where you just want to select which point you want to start and end the video clips at. So whenever you don't want to use the selection tool to bring ins and outs of your video clips, so what you can do is you can bring it up in the reference monitor and you can go ins and outs there with I and O and bring in the specific clip. So this usually works by using I and O, which is like a really good ins and outs, easy to use shortcut that you can use. But at the same time, there are other ways to do this, and my preferable way would be just to dump every clip inside of the timeline, so I don't get confused with the reference monitor or having every single thing while you're browsing your media. So I just want to bring everything inside the sequence and then figure out which clip is usable and which clip is not, because at times when you're going to be changing the speed of different shots, making a lot of the shots slow motion, and just using a lot of the extra frames that you wouldn't be seeing in a regular reference monitor, it really comes in handy, because at this time in the sequence you can put all the clips to, for example, if you're using 120 frames per second and you're slowing down all of your footage to 25%, if you do that and then you basically have a whole timeline, you can see how everything is working out, and then you can basically select ins and outs there instead of having to select ins and outs from the reference monitor. So here what we're going to be doing is just pressing Q and W to make an end start point and the end point. So it basically, if you press Q, it'll basically take away all the stuff that's behind it and basically stick it right up against the last clip. So this was the last cut, and then let's say this clip is this long right here, and then you make the Q, you hit the Q marker at this spot, so basically this gets pushed over to here, and now you don't have the empty space anymore, and you basically are skipping a lot of steps, because even if you are using ins and outs in reference monitor, you're going to be dragging the footage in. So if you have everything light on to the sequence, you can basically press Q and it will stick back up, and it does the same if you do the ending points as well. So let's say you have this much a clip here and you want to just stay to here, so all you got to do is press W at this spot, and then everything else will basically stick right back onto it. So there won't be an empty space, black space between these two clips, and you don't have to do that manually. So this really makes your workflow much faster and easier to use. So I use Q and W's almost every single time when I'm editing. I don't like to go the traditional way of dragging ins and outs from the reference monitor, because it can just be the extra work that I don't like, and just dragging the clips in, just not my forte. So yeah, for that reason I use Q and W. So the third great shortcut that I use almost every single time is Command D. Now this is definitely something that you can change up, and it actually might just be different on your machine. Just go into the keyboard shortcuts and see what the preferable shortcut for this is, but I like to use this a lot, because whenever I do Command D between two clips, I just have to select two clips, hit Command D, and then it basically adds a dissolve transition between them two. So this really works out nice for me, because at any time I can basically do Command D and it basically gives me a fade transition. A lot of the times when I am editing wedding videos, which are basically like 2 to 3 hours long, with like over 300-400 clips, and I don't have the time to go in and add transitions to every single point, all I need to do is select the whole timeline, Command D, and it basically adds dissolve transition to the beginning, the middle, and the ends of every single clip, which is really handy at times. So dissolve basically decreases your opacity over time. So what you want to do is make sure that there aren't any clips underneath of this layer, and just make sure that it dissolves to black or it dissolves to another clip, which usually works out, but just make sure that you're using it right. So that was number 3, and just like number 3, we have number 4, which works for audio. On my Mac I have set it to on Command Y, so basically every single time I hit Command Y, it's going to give a nice a constant fade on each sides of my audio clip. So whether it be music or just something that where I'm talking right now, if I just hit Command Y, being the audio clip selected, I basically have a nice little transition on the both sides, and this obviously works both ways, just like Command D, where if you have two clips and you want to transition them, crossfade them together, this also works great for that. So these, again, using these two can make your workflow much faster. Also, like if you have a 2-3 hour video and you just want to make sure that every single clip is basically getting, it's smooth, it's not edgy, and it's not just cutting in fast and stuff. So this really works out great for that. So last but not the least, we have on number 5 shortcut is how to select various selection tools. So you can use the selection tool here with a simple V, right? So, and then it basically, it's a normal selection tool, just a cursor, and then if you press B, it's a ripple edit tool. So this one basically works really nice if you want to, just as I said, if you want to use the W, you can use that, or if you want, you can just drag and bring the clips forward, and everything behind will also be trailed, clipped onto the thing, because in Premiere Pro, we don't have this magnetic timeline thing that we do have in FCP and stuff. So in this, it's really convenient to just use this ripple edit tool with a single press of B. Another thing I really like to use is A. So if you press A at this point, it'll basically select the whole entire timeline after that. So you can basically drag that in, delete it, or whatever you need to do with that. So there are these are like the really easy ways to use. You can have the text selection tool. You can basically press T or Command T, and it will actually make a text box for you, which is really convenient as well. And then this was it for all the selection tools. There's more. You can probably look these up. These are really easy to pick on and work in your workflow. So this was it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.